A hi-fi gaming headset. Well, I'm interested, but is it any good? Hey, I'm DMS, you're watching the Headphone Show, and today I'm talking about this, the Arctis Nova Pro Wireless, supposedly a gaming headset suitable for audiophiles. Well, it seems like it's won a lot of awards. IGN's best high-end wireless gaming headset. Wired, Tom's Guide, PC Gamer, Games Radar Plus. Everybody says it's the best. I bought this about 6 months ago based on all these recommendations. Just out of my own pocket, not even planning to do a review, but after spending a lot of time with it, I think a review is necessary. This does some things really well, and some things it falls flat on its face. Doesn't have a face, it's a headphone. You know what I mean. Let's start off with building comfort. This is a really comfortable headset. Honestly, in almost every way, it's pretty well designed ergonomically, with its biggest pitfall being that the ear pads, while having plenty of depth, are a little bit small for me vertically. It's pretty easy to overcome this with a little bit of adjustment. If it starts being too much pressure on the bottom, well, I'll just move it down a little bit. If it starts being too much pressure on the top, I'll move it up a little bit. That's something I can live with. The suspension strap is adjustable in height via these little knobs right here. Would you call these knobs? Nubs? The actual strap itself is very evenly distributed. They can swivel pretty far, and the yoke does tilt some, though not a ton. And it's not too hard to remember where everything is laid out. These have a 3.5mm input, volume control mic mute button, which depresses in and toggles out, a power button which doubles as a mode switch between active noise canceling and a transparency mode, both of which are actually pretty decent. And on the other side, we have power for Bluetooth, because yes, you can also use this as a Bluetooth headphone. Now this is wireless, and Bluetooth is not its primary form of wireless communication. It actually does 24-bit 48 kilohertz over 2.4 gigahertz from this base station. But you could have your phone connected at the same time. Say if you're listening to a YouTube video or talking to people on Discord on your phone, but playing a game on your PC or on your TV. That's pretty sweet. Microphone pulls out of the side right here, and when it's muted, this lights up red. Now the pads are interchangeable. Steelseries has several other pad options, but they use a proprietary mounting system, so good luck using aftermarket pads unless you 3D print a mount. I tried that, and I ended up actually going back to the stock pads after a while. Now both of these side covers can be removed. On one side, that reveals a Type-C connection. These are just magnetic. But on the other side, reveals your battery. This actually comes with 2 batteries, each one getting you 20 hours of runtime. And when one isn't in the headset, you can put it in the base station to charge. So you always have 1 battery charging and 1 battery in your headset. A swap takes just a few seconds, which is honestly really nice and convenient. Moving over to this base station, we have a knob that's also a button, a capacitive back button, a line in and out on the back, as well as Type-C for Xbox or Type-C for USB into a PC. Now they also make a PlayStation version of this. I primarily used this with a PC. There is a ton of menus you can dive into on here, turning up and down side tones so you can monitor your voice, changing the amount of active noise canceling, changing the transparency mode, changing the wireless modes between speed and distance, changing the preset EQ profiles, or actually making your own custom EQ. All of that without software, which is nice. The problem is when you start using the Steelseries software, I had a mountain of problems. And one return later, I found that it is not specific to my unit. Very often I had the Steelseries software crash. While it was nice that it gave me the option to mix between game audio, chat audio, and desktop audio, try different sorts of spatial audio settings, adjust my microphone settings, add all kinds of noise cancellations to my microphone, and many more things, well, it very consistently broke my headset. On several different desktop computers as well, it was a weekly struggle of getting on Discord, no one can hear me. My device is showing up as the active device in Discord, but nothing seems to work. Windows won't detect any input from this microphone, and I'll unplug it, replug it, nothing will happen. I'll have to end up either completely uninstalling the Steelseries software or uninstalling and reinstalling the Steelseries software. And sometimes this just happened anyway while I was using it without the software. It would randomly stop working, I would take it off my head, unplug it from the computer, use regular headphones for a week, and when I plug it back up, it would work fine. But an immediate plug and unplug, well, didn't seem to solve anything. I also had problems with the base station to where this capacitive back button just wouldn't work sometimes. So I would go deep into a menu, changing a setting, and then when I try and press back, nothing would happen. So you have to navigate to the setting you want, change it, then unplug and replug the device, wait for it to reconnect to the headphone, and then you can go back in the menu and adjust your next setting. Rinse and repeat. While that was a less common issue over the 6 months, I did experience it at least a handful of times. Another frustration on that front is sometimes my headset and the sound I'm getting and the sound people hear from my microphone turned into garbled robotic nonsense. This is something that happens with wireless headsets, and turning it off and on again did solve it, but it's just annoying to be in the middle of an activity playing a game with friends and have to turn your headset off, wait a few seconds, turn it back on, wait for it to connect, and we're good. Oh, our team had to wipe? That sucks. Well, we'll just try it again. I also experienced a bug where in this you can actually turn off navigation sounds. Basically, when you're navigating through the menu, it beeps. So, back a menu, beep. It's really annoying. You turn it off, but sometimes when it was off, it would randomly come through anyway at excessively loud, distorted volumes. Just navigating through my menus and crazy loud beep scare the piss out of me, and then it doesn't happen again for months. Just kind of keeps you on edge, I guess. But it made me get to the point where when I was changing settings, I would take the headphones off my ears, change the settings I wanted to, and then put them back on, just in case. Now, that is a lot of complaints, I know, but when this headset worked, which was the majority of the time, it was excellent. I mean, you can customize the EQ however you want, baked right into this box, so whenever you plug this box into any device, that EQ, well, it maintains. The range is excellent. I can walk anywhere in my entire house and still get solid connection. If I want to go to the kitchen and prepare a snack, I can do that, still talk to people and still hear whatever it is that's going on if I'm listening to a podcast and making my lunch, or even here at the office if I'm just talking to someone and shooting B-roll at the same time. And for a 2.4 gigahertz wireless connection, the audio was actually really solid. There are times where things would start to get a little bit crackly on like bass if I was on the other side of my house, but the connection still worked. In fact, EQing this to my preferences, it got really far. It's not quite the same level of detail as something like even an HD6XX, but as far as wireless is concerned, it's pretty decent, and as far as a gaming headset is concerned, well, I see why it got so many high ratings. It's hard to describe the specific sonic traits because nothing is really locked down aside from detail. I mean, soundstage changes depending on the settings, frequency response changes depending on the settings, but between all of that, if you want to tinker with it, you can get it to pretty much whatever your preferences are. If you want a sound that's intimate, if you want a sound that's wide, if you want something that's leaning more towards warmth or sub-bass or cold or treble or dark, you can do it. If you're playing a specific game and you find a certain frequency that helps you detect where other people are, you can boost that specific frequency just fine. You technically could also use this as a Bluetooth headphone just traveling around because it does have active noise canceling and a transparency mode. I tried that, but honestly, I would rather just use something like my Focal Batiste, though I've yet to try the active noise canceling on an airplane. Maybe I'll try that this year. I mean, you can tell it's a gaming headset, but at least it's not an RGB monstrosity. All things considered, the look is pretty minimal. It just looks like a pair of headphones with extra bells and whistles. I mean, if you were on an airplane with the microphone pulled out, well, that's a little bit odd, yeah. But having Bluetooth also means I could use this sitting on the couch with a Nintendo Switch, for example, or the Steam Deck. Now, the bright side is this is continuing to get firmware updates. Has this fixed all of my problems with the software? No, and honestly, I've had the best experience with this headset using none of the desktop software and doing all of my tuning through the base station. Am I going to keep it? Yes. Am I going to continue using it? Honestly, yes, when it works. Specifically, I like the transparency mode because my girlfriend and I both have our gaming PCs in the same room, side by side. So we aren't going to be communicating via Discord, there's a latency, so while we're in a call, playing a game with our friends, we'll have each other muted. I have the transparency mode on this and I can hear her just fine next to me in my headset still. Or if I want to play a game while she's practicing cello, I can flip over to noise canceling and hear my game just fine. She could literally practice in the same room and it doesn't interrupt what I'm doing. So there's a lot of ups and downs here. It really depends on if they're trade-offs that you think are worth it or not. At this price point, it's a hard pill to swallow, but it makes up for it in so many other ways. If you really want the absolute best in sound quality for a gaming headset, you should probably watch Resolve's video on the Odyssey Maxwell. I'll have that linked in the video description. You should definitely check it out. I think that one will appeal a lot more to audiophiles than this will. If they had the software all sorted out on this, it would be really competitive with things like the Maxwell because it has so many great features. And maybe those features are something you need and you might still end up with this headset anyway. But if you have problems, you can't say I didn't warn you. And again, wrapping it up, am I gonna keep using it? Yes, when I can. But also, if this is what's won all of these awards for the best gaming headset, that just tells me gaming headsets still have a long way to go. Anyway, I think that's going to wrap up this video. If you liked it, leave a like down below, comment letting me know what you want to see in the future. If you want to get active in the community, you can hit the Discord or forum, both available at the link in the video description. As always, don't forget to stick around and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. Till next one, guys. Peace.